So late December, my brother-in-law found a set of bear tracks out near his place. Bear was actually coming out pretty regularly out into a field that had probably a foot of snow in it, but it was a cut cornfield. So this bear was actually coming out, wandering around in the corn, digging down and eating the corn in the field. So we went out there to check it out and then figured one day we'd go follow these tracks and see where it led us. So these are bear tracks in the snow. He's coming out here end of December eating corn out in the cornfield. He's come out a few spots and is wandering out here digging up what's left of the corn. And it leads back in the timber back there. So he came down here, have a little drink in the creek here. And then there's all the slushy footprints leaving. And that's just right up on the edge of the cornfield here. Few spots along here. It looks like he stopped and rubbed himself on here. It's all the dirt rubbed in the tree, and it's interesting. He's really muddy walking through here. I don't really know what it's all about, but he went down to get water and it was all slushy and mucky, so maybe it's from that, but I don't know what he's doing. There's a few spots like this though that he's just rubbed himself on the tree and rubbed all the dirt off. So the trail meandered through kind of some scrubby brush. Maybe we went about a quarter mile and ended up into some more mature timber right along the edge of another field. And we actually found the den in there. It looks like he'd excavated it into a sandbank there. So you could see him sitting inside of there, like just tucked in the hole. So I set up a couple trail cameras facing the den and see what we could capture. So we got some really neat photos. I was quite amazed at what we captured on it. So the date and time's off on these. So it's off. I think the photos are actually behind about 14 hours. The date and time on them are. So. But it's pretty interesting what he's been doing in there. So a lot of these photos, there's a sequence of them, and it looks like he's coming out and he's actually digging up around the den. And at first I thought he was excavating, but it looks like he's actually pulling material inside the den there. So I don't know if he's looking for padding or insulation or to close off that big opening, because it's rather large and he's very exposed in there. But kind of a really neat set of photos here. So you can look through these photos and you kind of can see what he's been doing in there. It's really interesting. So these photos were captured over a period of just a little over a week. So we set it out towards the end of December, and I went and checked it, I think, January the 8th. And he had been out probably almost every day and night over that period of time. And he'd be out for a significant amount of times. And he'd be sometimes just laying out, but very often working and doing whatever he was doing there. So sometimes he'd come and go, and he's presumably going to the corn or to water, but really interesting. The day we checked it, I think on the 8th, he'd actually been active earlier that morning, like in the dark, and we checked it late morning, and you could see him in there. He appeared to be sound asleep, but he'd been out just hours before, poking around outside the den again. So kind of really neat photos. Really happy with how these turned out.